What's up, dudes? Chooch back with another one. Today we're gonna be looking at this, dudes. I know y'all been wanting to check this thing out. This is the Veteran Sherman right here, Veteran Sherman S. And I just want to be able to take a minute, man, talk about this thing, what I think about it, go over the price of this wheel, and we're also gonna be checking out the V13 and kind of some specs and comparing them, guys, because this thing is rad. Check this. I mean, it is sick. But this is the new Sherman S. It's like, the one thing I'm really liking though about Leprechaun, man, and about InMotion is like how high quality that their wheels are. These are going to be expensive and they don't really have like a mid-range wheel. But man, if you can, bite the bullet and get one of these, just look at that thing. That's a sick wheel right there. What's up? All right. Yeah, so this is the little editing room I got set up in here. It's not bad, dude. I hung the TV up there, man. Hung it perfectly. Got that cable management going right there, That's just glorious, isn't that? That's an Xbox with perfect cable management. I got all my action cameras and drones and SD cards and crap in this, and a toolbox, which is nice because you can grab it and throw it in the truck or something if I go somewhere with what I need, and then I can lock it up and close it. That has been awesome. That's really cool. If y'all want to steal that idea, do it. You can get one of these for cheap, and actually you can put a lock code on it, which is awesome. And then put all your hard drives and stuff down in the bottom, different sticks and whatnot. And then this is cool. I got this on Amazon, dude. This is a little table with the built-in charging port on the side with USB ports too. So I got this thing for like 80 bucks. This little table right here with those charging ports and stuff. Just hooked it up right there, and then got the subscriber goal on the wall over there, dude. Let's push it to 100K. Let's do it if we can, man. That'd be awesome. We're about at 25, so I got a little thing right there to kind of keep me motivated on it, and just decorated the wall a little bit behind here if I ever use the webcam to do some streams and whatnot over here on the computer. There's a dirt bike sleeping here. Good kitty. What's up, kitty? So you had a long day of napping and you need to nap some more? Is that how it is? Yep. So this is the new Sherman S, guys, and this right here is, Sherman or Leprechaun is not one of those companies that is making a lot of wheels all the time. It's not like Bigo, this is just turning out, a mini wheel, a 16-inch wheel, a 17-inch wheel, a 20-inch wheel, and then 4 20-inch wheels with the same name, a Master X, It's not like that. So Leprechaun is really about quality, and I'm also noticing that with InMotion as well. Leprechaun and InMotion are going for the more expensive, higher powered wheels, and they're going for just releasing one, and then they're really doing it right. You can tell, man, the InMotion and InMotion V13, and then this one, you can honestly say look like two of the highest quality electric unicycles ever. And I mean, they're the most expensive ones that are ever going to be coming out, but they do look the highest quality. I mean, these look like, incredible quality compared to what we've been seeing. And even being, I did an 80-mile ride today on the original Veteran Sherman. I rode all the way from Loveland, Colorado, all the way to Estes Park, and I rode around Estes Park, and I rode all the way back home. Dude, it was like 85 miles a round trip for the whole day, and I had to stop and charge twice on the Veteran Sherman. I ate lunch at a really good pizza joint up in Estes Park and charged up there. But I love the original Veteran Sherman, and it's just my cruising wheel. And I keep that air pressure in that tire high, and I just cruise fast on the main roads with that thing. I literally just get on the main roads and crank with the original Veteran Sherman. And with me being lightweight, I can easily ride that thing sustained at 50 miles an hour for a long time. But if I want to ride it and get in insane range with it and just chill and cruise, it's crazy how far I can go with that wheel. And even up a lot of elevation. There's simply no other wheel out there, guys. If you're doing sustained elevation gain, if you're going from Loveland, Colorado all the way to Estes Park, that's 2,500 feet of elevation gain over 38 miles of continuously going up. And you got to think, dude, there's not really many wheels that can do that and get you there, you know. And then like this thing had enough to get me there. I charged with a 3 amp charger for maybe an hour while I ate a calzone up there, and then rode all the way back home. And I stopped and charged one other time because I was running dead, guys. You got to think, that's a long way, and that's just going. And I was cranking, dude. I was going 40 miles an hour up 2,500 feet of continuous grade over a 38-mile, you know, journey. And the only wheels that have been able to do that, guys, I did it with the Commander, and I still haven't released the video with the Commander where I did the range test on that thing, and I did it a long time ago. That shows you, man, I just release videos at random times. But like when the T4 came out, like I have a lot of other videos of other rides and stuff, but the T4 came out and I just got that, so I want to release a lot of videos on it because I was excited about it, you know? It's all about what you're excited about in the moment, you know? And that Commander ride I did, really just, it was a long, continuous ride that just wasn't really exciting, so I really never ended up posting it. But I rode the Commander up through the Rocky Mountains one day, dude, and that thing has 3,600 watt hours, and I was able to ride forever on that thing, and it was so nice having the peace of mind where I didn't even have to charge when I got up to my destination. And then I rode all the way back home down the Rocky Mountains, and I did have to rely on that regenerative braking, guys. I've had to do that many times where I live, because I live where you're using all that battery to get up, you know, up the mountains if I do a mountain ride. And then coming back down, dude, it's like sometimes you're really pushing it just because it eats that battery when you're going up elevation. And the only wheel that I've found that can handle it, man, is the Veteran Sherman. So the Commander and Veteran Sherman, and I had to send the Commander back. That was just a demo wheel, but the Veteran Sherman is the one I own, and I only use that one for long range rides. It's reliable, it's stable at high speeds. It really feels like a actual piece of equipment when it's on the roadway, if that makes sense. There's a lot of, like, all the other wheels kind of feel like toys on the road. That feels like it's made to be on a main road. And I feel like this one and the V13 are going to be the same way. And also with the EX30 that's coming out. And the Master Pro, all these wheels just feel like, or to me, are going to be machines that are built for the main road. And I think that's kind of where this whole thing's going. I think predominantly where the hobby's been for so long is people mainly riding around the city, guys. And that's where it first started, was in the big cities, like in Denver, in New York, in Los Angeles, just in the city, because that's really what the range has been limited to. Like, you got to think, like, with one wheels, electric skateboards, all that, dude, it's been limited so much to kind of the inner city. Even with like the bird scooters and stuff like that, it's limited to the inner city. That's why they don't let them leave that radius, because if you did, you had them doing on these long pull rides, it would be dead so fast. You know, like if you're going out of the city on one of those bird scooters, it'd be dead in one ride. The reason they're able to do so many rides is because when you're in the city, you really aren't going far. I mean, you really aren't. You're stopping and going and stopping and going, and it just is not a long way. I think a lot more people that are buying these that live like in the suburbs now, they're seeing these on YouTube and whatnot, and they're seeing them that are where they're able to go like 100 miles on a charge and go 50 miles an hour. And instead of getting like one of these fast e-bikes or like a Super 73, like I hate to say that because I had a buddy really wanting a Super 73. I'm like, dude, you got to get an electric unicycle. Like, this is just the way to go. It's so much more nimble. You can take it in everywhere you go. You fit it in a shopping cart if you need to do grocery shopping. You know, you don't have to lock it up and worry about it getting stolen, anything like that. Like, the unicycle is the way to go, man. It simply is the best way to get around in our time right now. And I've said this many times, it is the best way to get around until we get like electric jetpacks that don't make a huge ton of noise behind you and don't disturb everybody. And I don't even think we're going to get to that point in our lifetime to where you can jetpack around without just tearing shit up and causing mayhem wherever you go. So I really think the electric unicycle is simply the best way we're going to ever find in our lifetime to get around everywhere. It's so nimble. You can literally go forward, reverse, backwards, spin around like a top, jump over stuff. It's like, I don't think we're going to find anything else better than that until we're able to fly. And that's dead serious. Like, I've thought it through, and we're not getting anything better. Like, a bicycle to me, when I see people on bicycles after riding this for so long, I look at bicycles like they're just ancient technology. Like, I really do, man. I feel like a bicycle is just stupid nowadays. Like, you ride by like one of these homeless camps and it's just bicycle parts. It literally looks like a bicycle chop shop from where they're just stealing these nice bicycles. People keep buying them over and over again. It's lackluster in the fact that, like, you have to leave it outside everywhere you go. You have to leave it on the back of your car in one of those goofy bike racks that somebody's going to come up and just chop the lock and take your whole $3,000 mountain bike in 2 seconds. The unicycle, you can put it inside the car and there's an alarm and windows. And so if somebody breaks the window, it's going to set off the alarm to the car, and nobody's going to break a window really in a parking lot. So, like, these things are they're just way better than electric bikes, I think, and mountain bikes. And now people in the suburbs are seeing that. They're wanting to also get one, and they're realizing that, hey, it's not just for the inner city. You can get this and be 20 miles away from the city and ride it to the city. Save on parking, save on gas, and literally have something to ride while you're there, and then ride home, which is, I mean, that's the ticket, dude. Like, that's seriously, that's the ticket. So, I mean, there's a place for them, and people that are saying, like, dude, you can just get a motorcycle for that price. Man, honestly, dude, this is more fun than a motorcycle. Like 9 times out of 10, I love riding my motorcycle, but, I mean, for 9 times out of 10, man, this is just so much easier to get on, grab and go, charge up. Like, I love the electric unicycle, dude. It's the way to go. But that's why they're getting more expensive. That's why they're getting more quality, and that's why they're getting longer range. And it's just because the market's changing to the people that live in the suburbs that have money, want to spend it on toys, got a garage to keep them in, and I think that's literally why they're comfortable with pushing something with a high price like $4,000 like this. But this is what it looks like right here. This is what the wheel looks like, and this is the actual finished product right here. This is not like a 3D render. This is the finished product right here. And I think it looks really refined. I mean, you can just see, like, it looks like if this thing crashes, it's going to hold up well. Like, the suspension is not even exposed. So the whole suspension system is in here. And going up, they got the bolts right here on top, and it's over, like, this whole thing right here just looks well done. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It just looks well done. I mean, seriously, they did a hell of a job with this thing. Look at that. And I love the way the trolley handle works on this thing. I actually built something very similar to this on my own veteran Sherman, and I literally took an old foot plate and used a torch and bent it like over the edge of a table and made like a whole like fairing, like a cover for the screen and all. And this is basically a metal cover. You can see that it's kind of like a metal exoskeleton cover that's going to be going down on top of that LCD screen. So it acts as your trolley handle, and it also acts as like an exoskeleton cover for that screen when you're not using it. And it may be, I think it's going to be like where the screen's recessed under this all the time. And so if it crashed, this whole metal exoskeleton would hit before the screen, which is really, really smart. I think that is the case right there. You see that? It's really kind of hard to tell right here whenever it's open. But I think that's the way they made it. You see, yeah. And with the front roll bar and then the exoskeleton on the sides, it's not going to hit the screen. You can kind of see in the front it looks exposed, but that front roll bar is covering it. See that? So if it hits, it's going to hit that roll bar first, it looks like. I don't have the picture up right now, but on the back right here, you have this really, really cool tail light. And I don't know if you've seen the things on Amazon before, the tail lights you can get for the back of your helmet or your bicycle. There's actually lasers that come off the sides of this thing. Literally, like each one right, like you can see the spots right there. It's a laser and a laser, and it shines down and it creates like your own bike path for you at nighttime, and shines down behind you and makes like a, you know, it'll probably be about this wide whenever it shines down behind you, just to like let cars see your kind of path when you're riding along. And it's much brighter than just a normal tail light, which is really cool. I'm glad to see little things like that. Wherever they could put like lasers and magnets and, you know, make stuff better, I mean, I say do it, man. You may charge you a little bit more for it, but I really like that. I love the mud guard. That built-in mud guard looks nice right here. I mean, shit, dude, it wasn't until a year ago where we were starting to get mud guards on electric unicycles, and like people were having to 3D print the daggone things. And so now, like, I'm glad we're seeing mud guards on them now, standard. That's a big improvement. So I'm loving that. And the back right here looks like we got a built-in kickstand as well. This well-made. This is hard to get. This looks like it's something easy to do, a kickstand on an electric unicycle, but it has been hard for companies to get right. Simply because people like to ride them downstairs, do drops, do jumps, or whatever. And this just has to be up high enough to where if you land, it's not going to clip. And it looks like it's up high enough. It really does. I mean, the other one on the Kickstand just came straight out, like a straight out line. This one's actually like bent up at an angle, and then there's not much back here to grab. The Kickstand had a whole kind of foot back there, like a plastic foot on the back of it. It was huge. And pretty much every one I saw got broken. But this one looks pretty damn good. This one looks real, I mean, it really does. And it comes with these nice spike pedals right here. You're not going to have to change out the pedals, which is really good. I mean, this is another thing that took forever to get right, that people aren't really thinking about. We're seeing spike pedals come on all these unicycles now, like standard. We're seeing spike pedals that are made out of, that are not hollow, that are made fully out of like cast iron now. Before, they were hollow, like aluminum alloy that they were making the pedals out of, which was much cheaper. And so like even the pedals now cost the companies more to make. So you see this higher quality machine, you know, a higher output motor, more battery power in the thing, better build quality all around, and then it also has, you know, way upgraded pedals. Like that's a huge component right there. You know, those cheap Gotway pedals they were making forever. I freaking hate those things, dude. The hollow Gotway pedals. I landed one day and made one of them just explode whenever I landed. I literally overshot a jump. I landed, I stayed on the wheel, and the pedal just blew into like a million pieces. But now they're making them actually out of like complete, you know, solid. The whole thing is like solid iron, which is good. And like with my personal, with my veteran Sherman, I actually had to put aftermarket pedals on it that I like a lot. Just like the whole top part of the pedal, I replaced that with like a full metal spike piece. And this is basically, I mean, this looks good. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm saying this looks good, and it costs more to put this on there. So that's another part that's going towards this thing being the price it is. You know, it has suspension in it, it has higher quality pedals on it. I mean, the whole thing is higher quality. And inflation's gone through the damn roof. So that's justified. I'm not trying to sell it to you, but I mean, it is what it is. I hate the fact that these things have gone up in price, but I like the fact they've gone up in quality. So one thing with the suspension right here, dudes, you can see on the top, this is going to be like easy to adjust suspension, which is one thing I'm liking a lot. So check it out. Suspension adjustment point. This right here is not where you put air in the top of this thing, thank goodness. This is just going to be easy, guys. I think it's going to be like basically where you got like, you know, a few adjustment points, whether it be like 1 through 10 or 1 through 5, and you just literally go click, 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 and then set each one to the exact same on each side. Easy to do, no fooling around, putting air in anything like that. With the T4 and the Master, I like being able to, you know, fine tune, you know, your ride and all that. I like that. I'm cool with doing that, but I think it takes a long time, and you got to take the pump around with you everywhere. And I really like the S22 suspension, where I just did a click, 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 you know, quick adjustment on that thing. We got that coil suspension in there, click, 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 good to go. With this, I think that's the way to do it. I don't think you should have like the V11 was, where you got to put air in each side and match it. You know, the V11's a great wheel, but it just takes a little bit extra time to, you know, put air in each side and match it to the right pressure. I think this is the way to do it, man. I think just, you know, quick click adjustment and you're ready to roll. So that's the way it should be. I love the OG Sherman headlight, man, because it's like you got this big like Rigid Industries headlight. It's like in a bracket. You can adjust it. It's sick, dude. And this looks like we're going back to that, and I'm glad. See right here, the final version of it. Headlight in there. It looks quality, dude. And I'm liking the flat side on this, where you can throw on whatever power pad you want to. Quick, easy, put whatever power pad you want to. I think this little opening right here is not going to affect anything. I think just put your Velcro on here, and this little opening is not going to affect anything. You got enough surface area to work with right here. And I don't think this doesn't slide up and down right here. I don't think. I think this is just covering for the mechanism that slides up and down under it. So I think maybe it does slide up and down right here. I'm not sure. If it does, you'll just have to put the Velcro on this side and on this side, and then let this slide down under the power pads. It'll just have to be wider power pads you go for. Like the Governor XLs, like the side pads that I linked below. I got a discount code for them. I love them. The big Governor XLs will fit perfect on this. That's what you need to get for this wheel. That's what I have on my Veteran Sherman. I love those power pads for it. I like big power pads on my Veteran Sherman, just because, like with the braking, man, you got to wrench back on that Veteran Sherman, dude. You got to have some leverage, dude. You got to be able to shift back. So I like big power pads like the Governor XLs. They're the way to go. Link below, side pads link, or either in my link tree. Side pads, the link in there gives you 10% off or $10 off on any power pad you get. So use that. Check this out. Alright, so this thing's gonna have magnesium side panels on it, dudes, which is ridiculous. That's crazy. So I mean, going from plastic side panels on everything, and then releasing wheels that had like plastic surrounding the batteries. This one's gonna have magnesium side panels on it. I'm all game for this, man. I seriously am. Like, this is sick. And I think that is the way to go, man. Because I think if you crash this thing with magnesium side panels, I think at most it'll put like a small dent in it. And, you know, that'll just give a little bit of aesthetic flair over time. But I think the integrity of the thing is just going to be able to just take a beating, dude. I think, like, you could be able to crash this thing, and you'll see that you crashed it. I think it might have a few little scratches on it or something. But I think this thing's not going to break. I think you'll be able to crash this thing a few times, which you should be able to with an electric unicycle. You should be able to do some high-speed crashes, and this thing shouldn't break on you. And I think this is what's going to happen with this one right here. Is it's going to just hold up over time. I think you'll be able to rip this thing. I think you'll be able to take it off-roading, which, I mean, most people haven't done with their original Veteran Shermans, with the Veteran Abrams, even with the Veteran Max, just because you need suspension. And they're heavy wheels, and if you crash them because they're heavy, it's usually going to tear something up. But I think what they address with this one is they know that people are going to be going off-roading on it. So, I mean, it has suspension on it. People are going to be taking it off-road. So they made it they made it, the whole machine higher quality. They made the whole machine where it can take more impacts, more crashes than the other wheels, and you can really tell they did that. And I think they should. I think that an off-roading electric unicycle should be made to be crashed, and I think that's what they did with this one. Even though it's going to be heavy, I think it's made to be crashed, and that's good. It should be able to take a 30-mile-an-hour crash on the concrete a few times without tearing something up. And I think that's exactly what we'll find with this one. It simply looks good, man. The pedals on this thing, I've seen videos of these. The pedals, they click into place and they stay in place. There's no jiggling around or nothing. It just sounds good, man. They click like an old door on an old Chevy, dude. They click when those things slam. They click, dude. So these pedals are thick, and when they click down, they click into place, and when you click them up, they click into place. So that's good. It's going to be the free spin on this 100 kilometers an hour. I'm not too sure how. I think, dude, what is the free? Yo, Siri. Hey Siri. What is 100 kilometers per hour converted to mile per hour?
100 kilometers per hour is 62.14 miles per hour.
So 62 miles per hour. I'm predicting this thing's going to be just as fast as the normal veteran Sherman. I don't think we're going to see much more speed on this thing. I think we're just going to see better performance and a better build quality mainly. I think we'll see more torque for sure. 3,500 watt motor in this thing. The old veteran Sherman that I just rode today has a 2,500 watt motor in it, and that's still that's a hefty motor on an electric unicycle, like straight up. That's a hefty motor, and I just think that with the thing you get with a higher wattage motor, guys, is you get better braking, you get better acceleration, you get better torque. It's better in all departments. And I think one thing that people think is like, okay, well, if it's not going to be over 100 volts, the braking is not going to be quite as good. No, I think you should look more at the motor power than the voltage, like 100 volts or 125 volts or whatever. I think you should look more at motor power in terms of like your braking, acceleration, and torque, as opposed to the voltage. So I think at 100 volts we're still good on this. I don't think you have to worry about it. But I think the main things you're going to want out of an electric unicycle come from motor power and not voltage. Yeah, I like the S22 on the track. One place where I'll tell you where I could tell where that 126 volt kicked in was whenever I took the S22 out on Apple Valley Raceway on the track. Whenever I was accelerating out of the corners. Out of the long corners, guys. I'm not talking about the tight corner. I'm talking about kind of the mid-range corners where you just had to have that steady power coming out of them, dude. That 126 volts just cranked out of those corners. I don't know, man. I'd have to have them side by side to tell you, like 126 volt or 100 volt, if it really mattered and what scenario. But I don't think that should be your deal sealer with this wheel. I think this is going to be a great wheel, and I think they've thought it through. Like if it needed to be over 100 volts, I think Leprechaume would have done it. I think Leprechaume is one of the best companies in the game, and I think they would have done it for sure if they needed to. Put it that way. 108 max 15 amp output. So they're going to be shipping this, guys, with a 15 amp charger. That's great. Today I was using a 3 amp charger, and I had to charge twice on my veteran Sherman, and it took forever. That 3 amp charger doesn't do jack. It really does not do jack. Whenever you're like not overnighting it, like letting it sit overnight, the 3 amp charger is garbage. This is going to be shipping with a 15 amp charger. So when you go somewhere, be careful, because you might turn the building's power off if you plug this 15 amp charger into it and turn it all the way up. You'll be able to adjust it, I assume, between 15 amps and like 1 to 15 amps if you want to adjust it. I assume you're going to be able to do that. But 15 amps is a lot, dude. If it's drawing 15 amps out, like I remember we charged up one day with like the E-skate crew and all at a place we like stopped to eat one day, And I guarantee you, you've heard about this on group rides, dude. If you go plugging a bunch of these things into like a building's power, dude, you put a power strip in, plug like 4 electric unicycles into it, and turn those chargers up over 5 amps, you'll shut the building's power down. Like straight up, like it cannot handle that, dude. We blacked out a building one day. I'm not kidding you, dude. Like they were pissed. We all stopped in there on the east gates and everything, started charging. I go into the corner, dude. It was mine that did it too, dude. I went to the corner and plugged my wheel in, and it was after everybody else was plugged in. I plugged my 5 amp charger in the back, and just lights came down, dude. And it was a place that had like a pizza buffet and a salad bar and all that. So they gotta have the electricity to run all the stuff in there. And he straight blacked out the whole place, bro. We had to get out. But so be careful with that. The 15 amp charger is no joke. It says 3 to 8 hours of charge time. So yes, dude, yes, this is 15 amps. That's quick. So if it's charging up 3,600 watt hours or 3,500 watt hours in 3 hours, 3 to 6 hours, it has to be pulling a lot of power. So just keep that in mind. If you're running this thing dead every day, you know, it's not going to be as much as gas, but you're running this thing every single day and recharging, you'll notice a difference in your electric bill. I promise you. I promise you, you run this thing dead every day and recharge it, it'll put it in your electric bill. For sure, dude. Be careful with that. It might surprise you. It might surprise you. It's 2,000, did I say 2,000 lumen, 18 watt double beads. Hopefully it's probably the same as the other Sherman. If it's the same as the other Sherman, that's fine, dude. The original Sherman headlight is so bright. It's fine. It says it's going to have turning and braking warning on the back. You'll see that. It's have lasers coming down. Be able to, has integrated turn signals. I think the brake light on this one's just going to be way better. I think like if you want to get that brake free tech, the light I have on the back of my helmet, use code CHOOCHTECH, all capital, at brake free tech to get that brake light I have on the back of my helmet. When you slow down on the electric unicycle, even if you're walking and stop, it's hilarious. Even if you're like walking with the helmet and stop, it puts on the brake light, dude. So you could be a moron, bro. I'd run around full speed and just stop. The brake light comes on, but it works for the electric unicycle perfectly, dude. It's great. So go to brakefreetech.com, code CHOOCHTECH, all capital, all together. You can get $10 off one of those lights. I love it, dude. It gave me peace of mind like crazy today. Whenever I was riding at nighttime, you gotta have it, dude. It gives you crazy peace of mind. So just upgrade your rear lights anyways. Like, it's good to have better lights on the electric unicycle. I agree with that. But if you're night riding, dude, upgrade your rear lights, bro. You gotta be able to be seen from behind. You gotta be able to have visibility. Like, that's key. Especially riding these at nighttime, guys. You got to go overboard. Literally go overboard with your lights at nighttime, I say. You know, I think whatever is on the wheel, great. But you got to step up and get extra lights if you're night riding. Alright, so the rim on this thing is going to be upgraded, guys. One thing to note with the veteran Sherman is the original one. A lot of people had problems with their rims breaking on it. I think a lot of that came down to heavier guys riding it and trying to jump it and do all this stuff they saw like lighter guys doing on the RS, and they only had one wheel like the Sherman, so they're like, shit, let's take the Sherman out and try to jump it over something or hop curbs with it or whatever, which is not made to do that. It's just not, dude. It's a heavy wheel. It's just a beastly machine. It's not made to go jumping like curbs and to the skate park and stuff. It's made to cruise, you know, long range cruising. People were having problems with the rims on the original Sherman breaking like wide open, dude. And I don't know, like I feel like like it shouldn't happen, but you know, I'm glad it did happen, so they upgraded it. So now the rim's reinforced. It says stronger reinforced motor rim, which they did with the V12 high torque, and they're going to be doing with all the wheels going forward, because when you dent a motor rim, dude, it is like, holy shit. like, what did I just do? You know it's going to cost a lot of money. You know it's going to take a lot of time. As soon as it happens, you're like, dude, I'm in for one. Because it's going to cost a lot of money to fix it. It's going to take a lot of time to take this whole thing apart to fix it. So it is not good when that happens. And I think manufacturers know that. Because not a lot of people want to take their wheels apart. Not a lot of people have the tools, the time, the space to keep it and take the whole thing apart. So you got to ship it back to the dealers and whatnot, which is a total pain. So just making the rim better is the best option. So they've made the rim beefier on this, put more spokes in it. If you decrease the amount of space between the spokes, it will make the rim way more beefier. And I think that's exactly what they did with the Kickstand S22. They did that with this wheel. And of course, with like the V12 high torque, it's a solid wheel. So they just made the rim actually a higher quality material and thicker. So with this one, they just made the wheel, the metal better and increased the amount of spokes. So now you get a higher quality rim, which is great. You're going to be able to choose on this wheel whether you want the knobby tire or the street tire. I'm pretty sure. Let's check it out and make sure. Choice of knobby or street tire. It even says that on e-wheels. So just keep that in mind. Whenever you do your pre-order, you can pre-order this thing for $1,000 on e-wheels, guys. If you order it through e-wheels, use the link below. Remember, use the link below. It gives me a little kickback at no extra cost to you. Just, lets them know I sent you their way. So helps me out just a little bit. I really do appreciate it if you can do that. But $1,000 to hold this wheel. Expected release price of this thing is $4,150. The expected release price. Let's go over here and check out the V13. Expected release price of the V13. So early bird pre-order price of the V13 is $3,999, and you're paying after. So it's $1,000 to pre-order either the V13 or the Sherman S. Either way, if you just use the link below, pre-ordering any wheel, buying any wheel, it helps me out. I'm not trying to sell you on either one. I'm just giving you the statistics and what I think about it. So I'm being fully transparent, with you guys on this. I'm personally excited about both of them, seriously. The V13 and the Sherman S. I think the Sherman S is going to be badass, though. I really do. But I just wanted to show you the price difference. The Sherman S is going to be $150 more than the early bird pre-order price on the V13. That's the difference. With the suspension mechanism right here, you can see that red part you can see through the side of the wheel. It looks like this is going to stay in place, and then that other part under it's just going to slide up and down where the pedal is connected. So you don't expect that middle red ring you see to be sliding up and down. That's going to stay independent, and then the bottom where the pedal is connected is going to slide up and down. This is just talking about the motherboard, and basically it's upgraded. It's going to be better than the last motherboard. They haven't, put it this way, there really hasn't been problems with motherboards, and then they've been upgrading the motherboards. That really has not been a component that's been bad on wheels lately, and they've been constantly upgraded. So I feel confident with the motherboards nowadays. I really do. And I feel like Leprichem is likely making theirs great. Basically just redundancy is what we're seeing here, and redundancy and separation. So if something goes wrong, basically you got something to back it up, is what I'm reading right here, to put it simple, because I know everybody doesn't want to hear about 24 MOSFETs and peak loads and shit like that to the new rider. So that's just basically that. It's like, I don't know, I wish they'd send them out like in the undeveloped state like they used to, and just let us rip them and thrash on them and crash them. I really do. I mean, that's how they used to get wheels right, even whenever they made like the original M Supers and stuff like that. That's how they got them right, is because they sent them out and let people literally thrash them. Even though they weren't the greatest things ever, they still the company like Gotway actually sent them out on their dime to the dealers to let people test them, and that's why they were able to make them right even back then. Whenever we were not near as advanced as we are now, they were able to get them at least decent, where they didn't have anything wrong with them. But I think that's what the way they should be doing wheels nowadays is they should be. I think the actual manufacturer should, whether it be InMotion, be Goad, whatever they be, King Song, I think every single round they should set aside 10 wheels. Literally in the early phases and in the mid phases, whatever it is, dude, it's nothing to them. It is literally chicken feed. Like, it is nothing to these big companies to set aside 10 wheels to where the companies don't have to buy them. Because like UCO and E-Wheels and Rev Rides and all these other different places, they don't want to spend extra money out of their pocket to buy demo wheels. And I totally get that. Like, I totally understand that. And they shouldn't have to. Because they're doing a favor to the companies by just selling the damn things. So I think the companies should foot like 10 of them to send over here to whatever manufacturer it may be, and let them distribute them around to the different YouTubers like they used to, whether they send them on like a chain where we, meet up, switch off like me and Jimmy Chang did, or whatever it may be. I think that they should get back to that, and to where it's not like the company actually having to buy the thing. Because at the end of the day, the companies are like the resellers in America, whether it be E-Wheels, Rev Rides, whoever, they're doing a favor to Be Goad. They're doing a favor to King Song, to InMotion, and they need to realize that. So they're the ones that should be sending these things out to get tested by us, and it gives us something to make content on, and it also gives them a ton of information. It gives them a ton of information because we ride them hard. We ride them far. We ride the shit out of them compared to what they do in these videos. I mean, really. Like, I respect what they're doing in these videos, guys, okay? They're riding it in the warehouse over some plastic speed bumps. This guy right here is hitting one jump back and forth. But let me take it on an 80-mile ride and give it some hell for a week. Let me have it for a week, and let me send this thing, and let me really take it outside and not just ride it down a set of stairs. I mean, come on. Let me give it hell for a week, dude. That's what I'm wanting. And then we can really know what's up with it. And that's what everybody wants to know. But that's my rant. It says exhilarating long distance riding for up to 144 miles on this. At 3,600 watt hours, guys, you're not going to be doing exhilarating long distance riding for 144 miles. It's just not going to happen. For 3,600 watt hours, if you're riding it like over 40 miles an hour and you're over 200 pounds, expect maybe 75 or 80 miles. Straight up. I mean, most people are not riding these things under 20 miles an hour everywhere they're going. And it's like, it says real world range is likely 100 miles of mixed riding. I really would say more like 85 or 90, dude. I just rode today. I rode up 2,500 feet of incline over like 78 miles, basically. And then back down. So, and then I had to recharge twice, and I have 3,200 watt hours. So, yeah, I don't know, dude. It's just hard to say, man. Like, range is really, really just all independent on the rider, I think. On what you're riding, what you're doing. If you're on the main road cruising, if you're in the city, if you're hitting a bike track, if you're hitting an off-road trail. It's so dependent, dude. Like, you can trail ride easily for 100 miles on this thing. Just because, dude, trail riding uses no battery because you're not hitting max speed, dude. You're just creeping along, just cruising. Even on fast trails, you're not going near like 40 miles an hour constantly. But when you're on the main road just cranking on these things, like 40 miles an hour plus, and you're sustaining that and not stopping at red lights like in the city and stuff, yeah, dude, you're going to drain battery quick. So just keep that in mind. The mid-mounted suspension, I think, rides good and feels good. Like when you're going down and like riding down hills and stuff, that mid-mounted suspension just gives you good leverage on the wheel. And it just feels good, dude. Like I remember the V11, like riding down hills on trails and stuff. It just feels good the way it just having the suspension in the middle of the pedals, dude. It really does feel good. It's the right way to do it. All right, so this is an off-road test of the Veteran S. And again, dude, he's not wearing a helmet. He's not wearing knee pads. He's not wearing gloves, wrist guards, and he's wearing like freaking water shoes riding this thing. And like, what is this proving? I can ride an Airwheel X3 and do the same thing he's doing right here. This proves nothing. It's trash. Seriously. And everybody, oh, wow. It's like, dude, stop. That's not impressive. And if you keep like going on Facebook and clicking like, wow, he's riding it in the forest at 3 miles an hour. It's the new wheel. Then they're just going to keep releasing it. And what does this do? This just promotes just terrible behavior on electric unicycle. I literally could do this on a freaking one of those two-wheel Segways. I mean, seriously. What is this proving, dude? This is trash. And this is how they're testing these things now. And they just speed it up. Bullshit. Bullshit. It makes me so mad, dude, because it literally took a whole thing. I love to test these things. You know, I love to put on my gear and crash and get a bloody leg up and freaking send it for YouTube and make videos. And now I'm replaced by that? That's garbage, bro. Get out of here. I'm sorry, dude. The company's like, that is just, dude, just send one out. That's not the way you test an electric unit. You're wasting time. You need to get back in the damn office. Dude's wasting time out there. What do I think would be the highest quality on this page? Seriously. And I think it would be this one. I think it's this one. The M10-4 is rad. The M10-4 is not, and I think the M10-4 is sweet, dude. Like, if you want to get a cheap electric unicycle, this thing's only $1,000, guys, and it's a $500 deposit on this thing. You can place your deposit down below for it. I think this thing is going to be awesome in itself. I want one. Straight up, the M10-4 is sweet. This is an awesome wheel, and it's cheap, dude. At $1,000, you can't beat that. And then, out of all the other high-performance wheels on here, I think, seriously, like, dude, the Sherman S is the way to go. It's only $150 more than the V13, and it looks stellar. It really does. And with the magnesium side panels on that thing, man, whoo. The Veteran Sherman S right here, it's gonna be an awesome wheel. High quality components all the way around. Magnesium side panels on it. Cast iron pedals on this thing. Integrated kickstand, full suspension, OG headlight. I'm loving that. A sick design on it. Good grab, carry handles. It's gonna be a sweet wheel. $1,000 to it's only $1,000, guys, to put in your deposit for this thing right now. It's your pre-order deposit, and the way that works is that you put the $1,000 in right now. Use the link below, and whenever this thing comes out, all you have to do is pay the rest of it. So whenever it lands the port, you have to pay the remaining $3,000, and then they send your wheel out to you. And it's just a lot better to do it that way. I think it just takes the shock off of it, honestly. You put $1,000 in, and then whenever it comes to port, it's only $3,000. And you're getting a sick, sick wheel, dudes. Honestly, the thing's rad. I think it's gonna be one of the top wheels, honestly. It's gonna be totally sick. But they say they're going to be coming out in late November. So if you want to have this thing in late November, guys, and you want to be one of the first ones to get it, go ahead and put in your pre-order. Links below. And anyways, dudes, that's the Sherman S. I know it was long-winded, but I wanted to sit down and talk with y'all for a little while about it. Anyways, dudes, I'll see you in the next one. Happy wheeling.